Hello and good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog, Friday the 20th of February, another very wet day down in London and the southeast. I hope you're all okay. Nothing much to report in the general life of courier driving. So as it's Friday, I'm just going to get straight on with today. I left you yesterday afternoon. I had a pretty uneventful, unsuccessful day yesterday. I managed to get two jobs on the way home in the afternoon. The first one was a call from a shipper who rings me up once a month and gives me a job for Monday morning. That was all very good, so that was agreed and put in the diary. Still looking for a job for today, and one came up and it nearly worked really well, and then like everything else in life this week, it didn't. It was a job from Clacton-on-Sea. And it could be collected, but the shipper gave me the chance if I wanted to pick it up yesterday afternoon, and it was for a large van going 80 miles to Cambridge. I said I would pick it up this afternoon. I quoted a price of £90 on it, which was a little bit cheap, but I thought, okay, we'll go with it. I just really need to get a job. It's not been that busy this week, and I thought by getting it loaded this afternoon or yesterday afternoon would give me a big advantage for this morning. So it's all agreed. 10 minutes later he rang me and said, we're not going to be able to load it this afternoon, the warehouse is too busy, so can you get it at 8:30 in the morning and go straight off? And of course that's no great issue. What he did say, and it's again very good shipper, Kanga, I've mentioned him before, he's very good. He said your price is a bit cheap, you will have to help more probably with the offloading than the loading, so he stuck it up to £105, which I think is, is good, it's reasonable, doesn't have to do that. It is a bidding site, and if that's what you bid, that's what you bid, but he's a good guy, and that was much appreciated. So on site this morning, I know they do open, I picked up there before, it is 8:30 they start, but I got there at 8 just on the off chance, and they're just sort of opening up and I got there, but it didn't take too long, and then we started to get loaded. It was 19 very big boxes. It absolutely filled the van out, so much so that we had to sort of stop halfway and take some of the boxes off and restack and repack. It was all furniture. We started off with a two-seater settee, so it gives you an idea, and then it's all other bits and pieces that go with it. Even the sack barrow had to travel in the front with me in the end. We had that little room, but we got it all in, and I was away for 8:25, which was good considering it wasn't supposed to be a pickup till 8:30. The ETA for Cambridge was about 10 o'clock, which I thought was fine. That was going to be good, but we got some traffic. There was an accident on the A14. The first matrix signs were saying 10 minutes, and then it went to 20 minutes, and then it went to 30 minutes, and the sat nav was saying 25, and it was telling me to divert off and go through Newmarket, which is fine, but if you know Newmarket, you always tend to go at the time the jockeys are all taking the horses out, and they cross the main road as you go into Newmarket there, so that held us up. Anyway, we did finally get on site. It took 2 hours in the end. We got on site at 10:25. I was sort of dreading the delivery of this because, as I say, the van was fully packed with these boxes, and they weren't overly heavy, but apart from the settee, but they were just awkward. They were really big boxes, and it was going to a residential address, and there was going to be guys there apparently, and luckily there was 3 really good guys there, so it just left me to sort of get the stuff to the back of the van, and then they took it all in. So in actual fact we was all done, finished, and I was off site at 10:40, which was perfect. Made my way round to the Costa to get my obligatory coffee for the day, which was much needed. Wasn't an awful lot happening. I thought, here we go again, same as yesterday and the day before. I'm going to now sit in Cambridge, which is sometimes quite a decent area, obviously with all the sort of industry it's got, and universities and all the sort of life science places. There was a nice job came up from Royston, which was about half an hour, 35 minutes away, going to Ipswich for a large van, 73 miles. I put £80 on that. Again, that's cheap. Didn't get it, probably more to do with the fact I was 35 whatever minutes away. Everywhere there was vans around, so that probably was that. Time started to tick on, and there wasn't anything happening. There was a job, I think you see the company TVS. I've never worked for them. They may well be a very good firm. but their jobs are 60 days, and I'm not doing 60 days. I really balk at 45. The other thing as well, they want you to download an app, and I just don't see the point. You're on the CX, everything is there. Downloading another app, and anyway, and 60 days, I left that one alone. Another nice job came up from Cambridge, going to Staines, going to the airport. For some reason, the shipper decides that was a backload job. It's air freight, it's not a backload job. A shipper's chancing it. They want a cheap price. You might as well just put the price you want to pay on it. If it's 50 quid, just put it on there, instead of fanning around trying to get it out as a backload. I didn't even bother with that. I left that one. And it reminded me the other day, there was I think it was last week, there was a shipper had put a job on. I can't remember where it's from to, but let's say it was Chelmsford to Ipswich, and it was a wait and return. So it's Chelmsford, Ipswich, back to Chelmsford, and they got it on as a backload and looking for a backload price. And how can a wait and return be a backload? That doesn't make any sense at all. But there we go. I suppose these, as I said in my little chat the other day about transport planners, just some of them just really haven't got a clue, full stop. I decided to set my limit at 12 o'clock. If I hadn't got anything by 12, I was going to call it a day in Cambridge and start to make my way back and see if I could pick anything up maybe in sort of Bury St Edmunds, Stowe Market, Ipswich. But just before, about 10 to 12, a job came up from Haverhill going into London EC3. Now, you know I'm not a great fan of going into London, especially in the afternoon. But beggars can't be choosers, so it was a small van job. The actual mileage is 65 miles. I put 115 on it. You've got to pay the congestion, which is £15 plus VAT, 18. But it's a London job. I just took off £10 for my normal London price, because the mileage was slightly less. And just literally 1 minute before 12, I got a phone call from the shipper. And he said, yeah, if you could do that job for me, how far away are you? And I put 40 minutes in the quote. He said he can get there as quick as you possibly can. Its job is now urgent. The shipper always puts in their notes, always, that you must show on arrival the CX app and it's live. They've had problems in the past, and he said again on this occasion the driver has turned up to collect the goods and all he's got is a picture, and they've refused to load him. We know the reasons why. We don't need to go into that, but it caused obviously now a problem for the shipper, caused a problem for the customer, and probably going to cause a problem for the people waiting for it. Anyway, I got there in 30 minutes. I got there as quick as I can, didn't break any speed or anything, but I always slightly overestimate ETAs anyway. It's better to give yourself a few more minutes. Got there at 12:30. It's just some power units. You probably know the company and where it's picking up from. I'm sure plenty of you have done it. Off-site 12:40. Was hoping to get there about 2 o'clock. Typically got on the M11 and we come to a standstill, and the obligatory, well, it seems like it's every few hours accident. Someone had shunted up the back of someone else in the outside lane. So we sat for a little while, and then we crawled, and then sat again and crawled, and we finally got past it. Didn't get on site till 2:40, but I phoned the customer as it was urgent, and he didn't seem too bothered, to be honest. And it was another one I sent the other day about information, how important it is. This was going to the old Billingsgate Market. Some of you may know that, down on Lower Thames Street, which is now a conference centre, an exhibition hall, and it is a nightmare for deliveries. It's on a double red line. There isn't actually any cameras looking at it, and it's also just right by a zebra crossing, so it causes all sorts of problems. And if it's busy, you really have got a problem. You can't sit obviously on the zigzags of the zebra, you can't sit on the double reds. The City of London wardens will patrol in earnest when they know there's something going on. So I was hoping that it was going to be fairly quiet and I could get it. They've got one little sort of like loading area which is on the pavement almost, to be honest. Or if you're a bigger vehicle, they will back you down the side. But it is a real pain. A friend of mine who runs trucks, he quite often runs trucks into there because he does exhibition stuff, and basically every truck that goes there, he has to, every job he does, he sticks £120 on to cover the cost of a parking ticket. We don't have that luxury, especially if we don't know where it's going. But I thought I'd take my chance, see what happens when we get there. And luckily, when I did get there, it was the little loading bit was empty. The security guys and the traffic marshals got me on there fairly quickly, and it took about 10-15 minutes because the guys weren't that keen to come out and get their urgent stuff, which is always the way. But we got it all done, and we was off site at 3 o'clock. There isn't much in the city of London. I'm not going to venture into the West End. It's half term, which is fairly quiet anyway in London. So I've just turned around, trying to make my way out of London. As you can see in this video, I'm not going very fast and not going very far. This queue, which goes from the City of London, will go all the way to Barking, which is about 6 miles. It will probably take an hour at least to get to Barking. It's the same every day. Rush hour leaving London starts at 1 o'clock. Same as if you come into London in the morning on the A13, the rush hour starts at 4:30 in the morning, which I know well from my days as a taxi driver. Anyway, it does tend to keep moving, but it's just all very slow. I've won a job for Monday, which is good. I've just put a bid on a price and just had a phone call. So that's me sorted for Monday. I'm done for the week. It's been a hot and cold week this week. I'll do my stats on Monday. But we're going to call it a day. I'm just going to venture home now and enjoy the weekend. I hope you do as well. I hope you had a decent day today. And yeah, thanks for watching. As always, thanks for all the comments and likes and subscribes and all that. And we'll talk again Monday. All the best to you. Cheers, Paul.